Hello, today I'm joined with Channing, the developer of Ferret Frenzy. Ferret Frenzy is the wild new party game that dares you to push your luck, outsmack your friends, and unleash your inner ferret in an all-out frenzy to swipe the ultimate stash. Channing, thank you so much for taking some time to join me today.
Sure.
Before we start, though, did I just miss? Did I misspeak? Is it outsmack your friends?
Outsmack. Correct.
Outsmack.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me about the game. So first off, what is it and who's it for?
Thanks, Robert. So Ferret Frenzy is a card game that we've been developing over the last 3 years, myself and Gil. And the game is a push your luck card game where you and your friends are taking on the role of a ferret and you're ransacking a house for as many things as you can grab as possible, and you're trying to build the ultimate stash. So the idea is it's a very quirky, lighthearted game, and there's a lot of frenzy components in it that make it really fun and addicting to play.
So is this like a kind of game like Exploding Kittens, that kind of a thing?
Yeah, actually, if you're a fan of Exploding Kittens or games like Blackjack or games like Spoons, then this game is literally made for you.
Awesome. Can we actually see it?
Sure. So I've got the box right here. This is Ferret Frenzy, and I've got the deck. And you can
Oh,
see we
nice.
had the artwork is adorable. It was made by Aubrey Joy, and they are a ferret owner and artist on Instagram.
Is that that the job requirements? You're like, oh, we need an artist, but they also have to be a ferret owner.
Actually, yeah, I went through talking with several artists, all ferret related, and Aubrey was just the perfect fit of adorable, cute, like capturing the expressions of the
Yeah, they're
ferrets.
beautiful. So talk to me about ferrets. Why ferrets? Why is that? Why does that fit as a theme? I mean, it's adorable, but
Yeah,
why
sure.
do you love ferrets so much?
Have you ever met a ferret in person?
I've not met a ferret. No.
So ferrets are a lot like if you were to mix a puppy and a cat and then kind of
Okay.
stretch them out like a little snake. And they're just really cute, quirky, unique animals. They're wonderful pets and they're very often misunderstood. There's a large stigma against ferrets. A lot of people don't really understand that they're even not rodents or what kind of animals they are. And having them as a pet, they just bring so much joy to your life, and they're so playful and curious and rambunctious. So I helped co-found ferret, a massive ferret social media page called The Modern Ferret. And it all started with my first ferret that I had. His name was Moose. And so I'm an industrial designer by trade, and I just noticed the internet had no good pictures of ferrets. And I had a camera. I was a hobbyist photographer. So I would start taking these very intentionally beautiful and professional looking photos of moose. And would just start posting it online. And the page started growing really fast. And it was one of those things, I want to say it was 7 years ago. So it's one of those things where Instagram was still, figuring out their algorithms and stuff. So the page grew really quickly. And I think once that happened, we, the Modern Fair realized that like we had something here, and we decided to expand it into an educational and an entertainment content producing channel. And once we did that, we started filming YouTube videos, which I helped edit and helped film. And we just created this massive online ferret obsessed following under the name of the Modern Ferret. And the community just ballooned up. So around the height of the Modern Ferret, a man named Gil Hova reached out to us. He is the founder of Formal Ferret Games, and he created some other board games that he's worked on that you might have heard of. And he reached out about this idea he had of a ferret card game. Now, we had also thought about how cool it would be to make a ferret game. We were thinking more of like a mobile phone game, like Angry Birds or something.
Yeah.
But his card game was the first time we played that test, it was such a unique experience. It like got that little twinge of danger and risk and anticipation that we knew the game with the right artwork and with the right marketing would be an amazing game. And honestly, it felt like the spiritual successor to Exploding Kittens, where you could have as many players as you wanted, and there was no player eliminations, and it got rid of a lot of things that I don't love about that game. And so we started pursuing that partnership, and we had always felt like at the Modern Ferret that the culmination of all of that audience and growth would be some kind of game. And so Ferret Frenzy is a branch of that, and taking some of the same artwork and the same character we used at the Modern Ferret and the same artist we used when we made the Modern Ferret stickers, we took that and turned it into Ferret Frenzy. And that's the game you see now. So that's kind of the whole history of how it got to the point of where it is right now. So the idea was to capture that kind of spirit of ferrets and put it into a party game.
Awesome. Cool. So I'm curious about this smacking kind of mechanic that you're talking about. How does that work, and why did you go that direction?
Sure. Is it cool if I show kind of some of the gameplay here?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me if that looks good for you.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, that's great.
Okay. So in Ferret Frenzy, the idea is you're ransacking this house, which is here the deck or is the room, and you're pulling a bunch of unique things to the floor. This is like a scarf, but to a ferret, it's just a cozy thing. And you can see that all these things are color-coded. So, for example, all three of these are cozy things. And the idea is that you are trying to collect as many as possible of these different kinds of types into the center. At any time you want, you can take all the things that you've collected and stash them into your stash, just like a ferret would, and they are safe for scorekeeping. Or you can continue to push your luck if you're feeling extra lucky. And if you go far enough, you'll eventually draw a frenzy. And the frenzy is the black card. Now, the idea is when the frenzy comes out, every player can smack the frenzy, and you get that kind of crazy moment of chaos where everyone's smacking the cards. In the order that they've smacked it, they can steal from this center pile. Each can take one, and then the rest are discarded.
Oh,
yeah. So the idea is you want to push your luck, but not too far. You've got an Exploding Kittens component, except for one of my favorite aspects of this game is there are no player eliminations. You play until the very end.
Nice. Okay, and the end being the
last card drawn.
Last cards drawn. Okay. So, am I right in thinking it's 2 to 5 players, but you also have a little expansion? Is that right?
So, Ferret Frenzy is 2 to 5 players, and with the Kickstarter, we are also adding an expansion booster pack. So, the expansion booster pack adds a different category of things known as shiny things. Right. And the idea for the Kickstarter actually is we're going to have these cards gold foil. They're going to be gold plated.
Nice.
So they're actually going to be shiny. And that's just a Kickstarter only event that we're doing. And so when you add these cards, you're able to expand to between 6 and 8 players. Now, technically, there's no limit to how many players you can play. I've had a table where we just threw in a 9th person. It's totally possible. But we feel like the gameplay is at its best between 2 to 5, and then with the expansion, 6 and 8.
Nice. Okay, very, very cool. So when you've been watching people play it, or maybe throughout the design process, but like what do you love most about it?
One of my favorite parts about the playtests and just watching them back after recording them and just being there over 100 or so playtests over 30 different versions of the game. When the frenzy card is drawn, it just causes all this chaos. And people are laughing afterwards, and it's a great time. Another thing is watching people's risk tolerances as they push their luck is so hilarious. There are like my brother, for example, will just draw and draw and draw, and he never learns his lesson. He'll draw until there's a frenzy, and he doesn't understand how there could have been a frenzy at that moment. And then I have other friends who will draw just a couple cards, and then they're out. And the unique thing about this game is both are possibly winning strategies depending on the way you play it and depending on how you use the mischief cards against other players. So there's a category of cards called mischief cards, and think of these are like your action cards. You also can collect them into the center pile, and when you take them, they go into your hand, and you can play them on other people's turns. You can play them on your turns to either sabotage others or protect your pile or just cause more chaos.
Just digging into the specific game, like what are the kind of components or the mechanics that you most enjoy?
just from feedback from playtests, people love the card slapping mechanic. It's so much fun and it's chaotic.
It's
They
ridiculous.
love the gambling, right? Like you draw on the next thing, you press your luck, and they love the artwork. It's super cute and adorable. But as a developer, and I've been working on this and behind the scenes for the last 2.5 years, 3 years, I think my favorite mechanics are the ones that are so subtle that you don't really think about it unless you're also a game developer and you're kind of like in that mindset. For example, getting rid of player eliminations was a big one. That was one of the top things that annoyed me about some other games that I play where you kind of just sit out and you wait till for the game to end. Another thing is a never-ending game loop. Games like Uno sometimes
Yeah.
will get in a spiral where the game will not end and you're just drawing and you're like, please end. So the fact that the game ends as soon as the deck's done it almost always caps the game at 15 minutes. Another aspect about the game that was really important to me was having a very flexible group size. Some games have hard caps at 5 and honestly aren't much fun any under that. In this game, we made sure there was a 2-player variant that's still fun. We made sure that 3 to 5 is the sweet spot, and that if you wanted to extend it even more, you can add cards. So that the game is very flexible. It's very fun at different group sizes. And like I said before, we've played it with group sizes ranging from 2 to 9 people. And I haven't gone more than that. At 9 people, you have to split the deck in half because the people around the table get so large that, not everyone can reach. So you split the deck in half and you're essentially playing the game in like a figure 8. But just little details like that I can be a perfectionist about were really important to me. And when you see it in the gameplay, it's not something you call out or notice, but for the playtesters, there's much less friction when they're playing. And then the final aspect I think that was really important to me is I wanted players to always feel engaged even when it's not their turn. So some other games, you're just waiting for your turn, Ticket to Ride, you're like, not even paying attention to other people. And even though it's a cool game, but there are those aspects where I really wanted everyone engaged most of the time. The card slapping mechanic that everyone participates in really helps with that, as well as the mischief that can be played on, or the different mischiefs that can be played on any turn. Keep everyone engaged and everyone talking and everyone's goading each other. Draw another card, draw another card. And it just makes it a really addicting and fun gameplay experience.
Awesome. Awesome. So Ferret Frenzy is live now on Kickstarter. And where else can folks find out more about you and the game?
So everything you're going to want to find would be on ferretfrenzy.com. And if you're watching the Kickstarter right now, that means the Kickstarter is live. So you can back it right now. The Kickstarter, just go to Kickstarter and search Ferret Frenzy. It should show up as one of the top card games. And if you're wanting to just follow along with other projects I'm working on or the progress of Ferret Frenzy, you can just follow me on Instagram, which will have the tag here.
Absolutely. I'll have that. And you can also find the link to the Kickstarter and ferretfrenzy.com in the description below. Channing, thank you so much for taking some time to talk about your game.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Robert. And I can't wait for everyone to get their hands on Ferret Frenzy and get their slap on. So until next time, I guess.
Until next time. Thanks.